Today is a very special day. It's a very holy day. It's a great feast. Not only because Jesus was born today, listen to this, not only because Jesus was born today, but because Jesus is born today. That's our Orthodox faith, that we're not celebrating something happened 2,000 years ago, but we celebrate his real incarnation as it's happening right now. Question is, how will this make my life better or different? How is the feast going to make a difference for me? Well, there are two levels. The first level is the physical level. The physical level is you're going to get fat. You're going to eat. You're going to indulge in food until, that's what's going to happen. Earthly sense, people gain weight, eat a lot. You know the rest. That's the physical part of the feast. We don't want to end there. We don't want to stop there. We don't want to look like this. But the spiritual one is a different one. It's a whole different story. Listen to this. That's how important this day is. We have been fasting for 43 days, or I hope we were fasting for 43 days just for this day. We were fasting for this day. We were fasting all this for today. What does that tell you about the feast? How special that is. I'm sure God's plan is something very special for every one of us, his children, particularly in this day. Very special day. Shouldn't celebrate it that physical way, and that's it. It's the beginning of something new. It's like God is giving something. God is giving you and me a real gift. A real gift. I promise you, there is no way. When you have a big decision to make, in your life, you fast maybe for 3 days. When they were moving a mountain, they fasted for 3 days. But we've been fasting for 43 days. Why? Why was that? For torture? To be tortured? What is the purpose? For today to be a new beginning. For today to be a spiritual gift from God. For today to receive something really special from the Lord. Maybe a new life. Maybe a new beginning. Maybe a new temper. Maybe a new tongue. Maybe a new heart. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I'm sure there's something big. And you have to believe that this is God's gift for us. It's not that he was incarnated and he was here 2,000 years ago, but today there's something special happening, and we want to get the benefit of such an event. A gift, a grace, a blessing. The problem is, the spiritual gift is not seen. It's not something you see. So you're not gonna see it. And sometimes you're not going to feel it. Not everything is spiritual we can feel. Absolutely not. A lot of times God is really working inside of us, but we don't feel that. Maybe you had a rough year last year. Maybe it wasn't the best year of your life. Maybe there was pain. And that's why God wants to give you a new beginning. Are you going to live emotionally because I don't feel good, because things didn't turn out the way I want, then I'm not blessed. And unless God gives me something materialistic, then I'm not blessed. God is giving us something to refresh us spiritually. And when we are refreshed spiritually, we'll definitely be motivated and we will be refreshed emotionally and physically. But it starts with spiritually, and a lot of times we don't feel the spiritual work of God inside of us. So we don't feel the spiritual gift and the spiritual blessing. I'm telling you, do you feel anything when you take communion? Maybe you feel something because of the prayer, but not necessarily every time you should feel something. Not every time I pray, I feel lifted up and I feel in the Spirit. Not necessarily. Feeling doesn't necessarily come with every spiritual act. It means that God is working inside of me for sure, whether I feel it or not, whether I know it or not. I just need to believe that He's working. The problem is, not only we don't feel it, but we lose it quickly because we don't feel it. We let go of the gift very easily with food and drink and focusing on the worldly things and focusing on the here and now and what I feel right now. I lose a lot of spiritual gifts. Sometimes God is working inside of me. God is doing something amazing in me. And He will continue, and then I stop. Why? Because I don't feel anything. Who cares about what I feel? It's not about what we feel. And that's the maturity. That's the maturity that we were talking about in the beginning of this new year. And we said our goal in 2012 that we will focus so much on a spiritual maturity, that we mature. Kids, when they don't feel like doing something, they don't do it. Adults, when you don't feel like going to work, what do? You go to work. Rarely you do the things that that everything that you're doing is something that you're enjoying and something you like. Can we mature spiritually? That I go on and I believe and I act in my spiritual life that God is working in me, even if I don't feel that? The reason why we're here is we're here to celebrate His birth in my life today. His birth in my life today. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Takes some prayer. Takes honesty. Isaiah says that, for unto us, or maybe you can put me instead of us, for unto us a child is born. He's born for me. He's born for me. He loves me. Today is for me. He's all mine. He's my baby, and He's my King, and He's my Lord. He's mine. Unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon His shoulder, and His name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. We're here today to celebrate how much God loves me, because He's born for me. Do I feel it? Maybe not. I don't care. But I want to believe that this is for me. And I want to live as someone who believes in that, who is really celebrating. Today's a feast. Maybe it's not the best day for a lot of people. Maybe. Maybe they have something going on in their lives. Some pain, circumstances, whatever it is. Maybe it's not the best. But the order is to celebrate. Today is celebration. And it's not a food celebration. It's not feasting celebration, but it's spiritual celebration. I celebrate him as my king and my lover and my Lord, who is coming to give me absolutely new life and blessings now, today, as if this is the first year of his nativity and the first year of his coming. When Jesus was born, a lot of people didn't feel it. Only few people. Some of them are shepherds. Some of them simple people. Scribes, the Pharisees, the temple, all these people, they didn't feel it. They didn't celebrate. But look at the shepherd. Look at the angels. Look at heaven. Heaven was upside down. Angels, thousands and millions of angels are celebrating the descent of the Lord to earth. What was happening on earth? People are asleep. People living a normal life. People didn't feel anything. Would you like to be the shepherds and the simple people who celebrate with the angels? Or you want to be in the temple with the scribes and Pharisees and with the rest of the people who didn't even have a room for Jesus to come in? Didn't even have a room for him. Didn't even have a room for him. Does he have a room in our life, in our schedule? What I challenge you today is to really celebrate spiritually and not emotionally and not physically. I want to challenge you to do something that maybe you've never done in your life before. To tell him, I believe you're working in my life. I believe you're coming today and this year to give me grace. But not with the flesh, but with the spirit, because as the Bible tells us, that the spirit is against the flesh and the flesh is against the spirit. If you really want to continue and to receive the gift of God for you this year, let's celebrate spiritually. I thought about what is the best way for you to celebrate spiritually. And how can you be reminded of that? I thought the best thing is to relate the spiritual message with meals. How's that? So, I'm proposing for you tonight something to do that you've never done before. And it's really a challenge. A lot of people here will not do it. And some people will do it. And I hope that everyone does it. It's a diet. And I promise you it's going to help you actually lose weight and not gain a lot of weight. 3 meditations before 3 meals. 1 before tonight's meal and 2 tomorrow. And what I want from you is to just go around the table before you eat, please. Because after you eat, this stops working, something else starts working. Only ask one question and let everyone on the table answer this question. Maybe try to cover the food or something, so it doesn't get cold and you feel free and you're not distracted. First question, it's tonight, before tonight's dinner. How do you think heaven is celebrating tonight? I want you to go wild with your imagination. Let's get heavenly and not earthly. Let's think above, not down. Is heaven celebrating today the same way as year 1 or different? Just a question. If you have kids, they will help you a lot, because they have a lot of imagination. Maybe we don't, but they will help you a lot. Listen to them. Tomorrow, whether you're going to eat breakfast, even though you ate dinner at 1 or 2 a.m. and you still eat breakfast, it's up to you. I put just in case if some people are reasonable and going to have brunch at least. Another question. What have I been praying for lately? What was my prayer lately? What did I ask for lately? That's it. That's it. What have you been praying for? Go around the table. Let everyone answer this question. The third is tomorrow's dinner, which you're supposed to be sick by tomorrow night, and then you don't eat a strong dinner. What kind of gift do I think God is giving me this feast? Maybe the gift will be revealed tomorrow night. Some people think I'm silly. Some people think that they're not going to do it. I'm telling you, the blessing is yours if you want to admit it and receive it. I know what you're thinking. How are we going to remember these verses? Got it ready for you. Don't make fun of me, okay? Everyone has an iPhone or iPad or BlackBerry or Android. The very famous application is called Bible. It's almost in every single phone, okay? If you open this and look for live events, okay? You go to the live events, it looks like this, okay? This circle, live events. You go and you will find these 3 questions for you. And actually, this is something you can find your daily quiet time or the daily journal. You can find it on your phone, and actually you can write your notes over there if you didn't know that. Not that I'm encouraging you to do that, but in case if you're a high-tech person and you cannot take notes by hands, this is a way to do your quiet time daily and send it to yourself by the email. So these questions are on your phone now. Like if you check now, I don't want you to check now. Just go back, check it. We're in the middle of the liturgy now. But it's there, okay? How is heaven celebrating today? What was my prayer and my request for God lately? And third, what do I think God's spiritual gift for me? Let's celebrate spiritually this year. Let's mature. Let's mature. Let's not stay at the flesh level. And believe that God is working, whether you know it or not, whether you feel it or not. I wish you a happy and blessed Christmas. We are very blessed to have with us a great father, Abuna Sarabamun Abdu, who is the father of Abuna Domadius. He's blessing us this feast. He's such an amazing and wonderful priest, and he's known very, very well in Egypt. He was actually, when His Holiness was in his restriction exile, Abuna also was in jail for Christ, and he is actually the pastor of the church, or the priest of the church of Mbaba that was completely burned down. And he right before coming here to Egypt, they rebuilt it completely and restored it in these events. So he's one of the confessors. أبونا نعتبر واحد من المعترفين اللي فعلا اتألموا ودخل السجن في أثناء السادات، وأما حط الآباء الكهنة والأساقفة في السجن، وبرضو عاصر حكاية أو الكنيسة بتاعته في إمبابة اتحرقت، يعني الكنيسة اتحرقت السبت بالليل اتهيألي كان، أو بالليل تاني يوم الحد كانوا بيصلوا والدخان طالع يعني، بس كانوا بيصلوا في الكنيسة. فأبونا بركة كبيرة الحقيقة إن هو يكون معانا سبيشالي في العيد دوت ويباركنا، فحاسين فعلا إن المسيح وسطينا ومباركنا بركة كبيرة. كل سنة وانتم طيبين.